Hi guys, welcome back to the Craft Time Studio. I'm Ange and today I'm here to talk about what I think are the basic tools that one might need to start his or her clay earring making journey. I've been claying for about 25 years on and off, and I've seen that lately there have been more people picking this up as a hobby or turning it into a mini craft business. However, I have also read that a lot of people tend to spend a lot in buying tools and supplies before even evaluating their level of interest. So I hope that after you've watched this video, you will also know where you can save money and what items are essential. So first and foremost, I think you will need a mat to roll out your clay. I am currently using a glass mat taped to corrugated cardboard to cushion my mat as I cut and roll. This is just my own preference as I find it easier to get the clay off. However, I will be the first to tell you that when I started, I was happy to use a clear folder, which also works quite well. The important thing is that you have a surface to work on where the clay won't stick. If you don't have money to spare, I suggest using something similar. But if you're fully committed to claying and have some money to invest, I suggest getting a glass mat or a non-stick silicone clay mat. These will last you for a very long time. The second tool to invest in is a clay roller. There are many types of roller, like this cheap plastic one that came with a kit. There are also some pricey ones like the pasta roller that, depending on the brand, can be quite expensive. The great thing about pasta rollers though is that you can blend colors very evenly, and the height of your clay will also be very even. But if you are just a beginner and just testing out the waters, you can get the cheap kind of roller and use flat wooden sticks to add height and to make even slabs. Another tip that I can give is that you can place parchment paper on top of your clay while rolling it out so that it doesn't stick to the roller. Going even cheaper, you can even use a marker or any tubular shape to roll out your clay, as long as you have parchment paper on top. The third tool that you will need is a stainless tissue blade for clay. I see a lot of people use the X-Acto knife, but for me, the best way to scrape my clay off the mat or to make even cuts on my canes is to use a tissue blade. The fourth tool that I recommend are basic shaped cutters. There are so many beautiful cutters out there, but the reason that I am inclined to use plain cutters is because you can use them in combinations to make interesting shapes. When cutting, do remember to put equal pressure on all the sides. I also wiggle my cutter a bit to get a cleaner cut. Or if I want tapered ends, I use a very soft type of plastic, place it on top of my clay, and sandwich it between the cutter and the clay. The fifth tool that I think is essential is a detail needle. You can do so many things with this, From texturing your clay to making earring holes, having a detail needle comes very handy. Of course, the cheaper way is to just use a regular needle and maybe fashion your own handle for it. The sixth tool that I would spend on is the extruder. After years of working with clay, I know that my logs are quite even, but honestly, it still pales in comparison to the extruder. If you really want to make your clay hobby into a business, I highly suggest getting an extruder. I am posting the link on the video that shows all the stuff that I make out of an extruder. And finally, since we are making earrings and we will need a way to attach the metal findings, it is also essential to have the proper pliers and cutters. So, what do you guys think of this mini list that I made? Comment down below if you feel like I've missed mentioning an important tool. I hope that you learned something from this video. If you happen to like this, do give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to know what I've been up to, visit me on Instagram at crafttime.ph. Thank you and have a great week ahead. Bye!